Welcome to the Patrick Riggins Show here on video. What I want to talk about today is the political spectrum. This political spectrum you've been told exists, and it does exist, but you're not given the whole story on it. Right now, what you're told is we have two major political parties in this country. We have the Republicans, who are on the right, and we have the Democrats, who are on the left. And this is what you're told is the political spectrum. Right, left. Republicans, Democrats. You have, this is the right. We'll put in parentheses or quotation marks. And the left. The right and the left. Usually what this is liberals and conservatives. How they're kind of put into columns here. Liberals and conservatives. So you have one column or the other, and you're really forced to pick one of these by the people who are active in politics. And they do this because this is how they want you thinking. They want the message on these issues coming down from above. The message, how you think, how you feel, whatever you decide on an issue, they want it coming down from above and not coming across from the other side. It's much easier to rule and control a population if you can push them into one or two of these columns, this red or blue column. There's less explaining to do from these people up top. If they can just put you into this column, these people will just take whatever they're told and not ask too many questions about it. If you're listening one side or the other across this boundary, then you might start asking questions of these people. Why do we think this way when these people think this way? Oh, you're asking on this side, why do we think this way when these people think this way? Again, the leaders don't want this. They don't want this questioning. They want blind acceptance of what you're told. That's why they want to put you into one of these columns. Again, this is the false political spectrum. This is what they tell you is the political spectrum. The right over here, the right is Republicans. On the left over here is Democrats. This is the false political spectrum. The true political spectrum is this. The true political spectrum. It runs this way. You have government control on the left, okay? Government control on the left. On the right, you have freedom. And that's the true political spectrum. And if you want to put a mark there, you can. This is the political spectrum, from freedom to government control. Now, you say, well, Patrick, I'm a Democrat. Where do I fall on this political spectrum? Over here, I fall on the left, but this is only a small part of a much bigger picture here, a much bigger story. So where do I fall here? Well, your leaders, Democrat leaders, well, this is about halfway, so Democrat leaders about here. That's where your leadership is in a political party. And then you'll have some people who go a little bit to the left, and then you'll have a lot of people that come this way. And they'll even cross this middle boundary a little bit. These are the people who say we need to legalize drugs or something like that. They'll be over here more towards freedom. But they run back to this side when we start talking about Second Amendment issues. Again, this is the Democrat leadership. Now, if you're a Republican, I'm a conservative, Patrick. I'm over here on the right. I believe in freedom and liberty for the people. I believe in these principles upon which our country was founded. Where do I fall on this? Well, again, your leadership, the Republican leadership, is about halfway. I'd put the Republican leadership about there. And again, you'll have the rank and file kind of do this. And again, you'll have some Republicans over here when we're talking about Second Amendment issues, kind of almost opposite of these Democrats. Second Amendment issue, oh yeah, freedom, we need freedom. Some Republicans are saying, well, we need freedom and Second Amendment, but not that much. They get back over here into government control. When we start talking about legalizing drugs, a lot of them are firmly over here under government control. Republicans under this government control. And again, you can see kind of how the leadership is always a lot further left than most of the political party. Now, you may say, well, Patrick, is there anyone over here on the right? Well, there actually is. The Libertarians. The Libertarian Party is about halfway here. They're not all the way over in freedom, but they're about halfway. And their political party looks like this. A little different than this. The leadership of the Libertarian Party will be more centrally located amongst this rank and file, because you'll have some libertarians who, or people who say they're members of the Libertarian Party, and they will be over here under government control. And we're talking about, we need to legalize drugs, but not all drugs. So they're over here under government control. We need everyone to be able to have a gun, but not all guns. Again, over here under government control. So as you see, there's, if you're personal freedom and liberty minded, you'll find more compatriots in the Libertarian Party than you ever will in the Republican or Democrat parties. Again, this is the true political spectrum. Interestingly, these guys, the Democrats, a lot of times will refer to these guys, the Republicans, as Nazis, which is just ignorance, because Nazis are over here. This is where the Nazis are. National Socialist Party. This is where the socialists are. They're firmly under government control. Nazis want to control everything that you are seeing and hearing and eating. Just they want to control society. This is the Nazis firmly under government control. They are to the left of the Democrats. So when Democrats call Republicans Nazis, they're just showing their ignorance because they don't understand exactly where they fall on this spectrum. This is where fascism is, over here, government control. Interestingly, this is where the anti-people are, the anti-fascism, because they engage in the very fascism that they decry. They try to limit your information, limit what your freedom of speech, limit all these things. This is government control. This has nothing to do with freedom. Freedom is your ability to make your own decisions in your life. What you're going to hear, what you're going to eat, all of that is your decision, freedom. If someone's trying to control that, then they're over here under government control. They're on the left. There is no right-wing freedom or right-wing control people. There's right-wing freedom people over here. But if someone's right-wing, they're not Nazis. There's just no way, because Nazism and socialism and all of these are left-wing ideologies. Again, this is the true political spectrum, and I wanted to put this out here because too many people get hung up on this side and think this is the left-right, and it's really not. This is all over here on this side under government control, and the right is really about freedom. And this is where you want to be, freedom. You don't want to be under government control. Well, unless you're a leader, unless you're the leadership or any of the leadership of these other ideologies. Yeah, then being under government control is fine because you're in charge and you're getting all the money and all the power and everything. So it's pretty nice little setup for you. But for all the people, you want freedom every time. And that's the true political spectrum. If you have any questions on this, you can email us at patrickreaganshow@gmail.com. You can also leave any comments below. Also hit the subscribe button to get notified when we post new videos. Click that little bell too. That'll notify you when we post the videos. Subscribing will get you subscribed to the channel. So that's it. If you have anything else, if you have any questions, you want me to cover anything, again, email me, patrickreaganshow@gmail.com. And I'll tell you, as I tell my radio audience, liberty begins with you in your mind. You have to decide you want your personal freedom and liberty, because these guys right here and none of these guys are going to give it to you unless you demand it. They're all about control. Also, taxation is definitely theft. Join me again on here and we'll cover more topics about your personal freedom and liberty.